We woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us, and I was drifting in and out of sleep, and they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them, and they happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens, and they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time, and the next thing we knew, it was quiet, and we get up, and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, do you hear the kids? And he says, no. And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone. They're just extremely sweet kids. I appreciate the huge search effort going on right now. But we've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been issued. Not just that they could possibly be abducted, which it is a possibility that they could have been, but just an alert to let everyone know that they are missing. We had people text me saying that they weren't aware someone else let them know that they were missing, and it would just be nice if everyone could be alerted.
She cried on camera, her voice trembling, eyes swollen, pleading with the public to look, to listen, to care. Please, she begged, if you know anything at all. It was a powerful image, a mother broken by loss, desperate for answers. But beneath the emotion, a question began to quietly surface. What if the truth wasn't out there in the woods, but much closer to home? Because Malia Brooks Murray wasn't just a concerned bystander. She was the last adult to see Lilly and Jack alive. She visited the trailer just hours before they vanished. Police confirmed her presence, but they remained silent about what she saw or heard. Why was she there? What state was the house in? Did anything feel wrong? Did anyone else stop by that morning? In the days that followed, Malia never gave a public statement. And weeks later, despite massive search efforts, theirs. Still no trace of the children. Could the mother be hiding something? Could someone close to her be involved? Or is the truth buried beneath panic, guilt, or fear too heavy to admit? What makes this case so disturbing is a lack of anything. No signs of a break-in, no screams, no shattered glass. Just a quiet trailer, an open sliding door, and a silence so deep it's almost unnatural. Angela Sullivan says she stepped out to feed the chickens. When she came back, the kids, who'd been in pajamas watching cartoons, were gone. No struggle, no slam of a door, no cries for help. Just gone. It's hard to imagine how two young children disappear from a home surrounded by dry leaves and forest brush without making a sound. Dogs couldn't track a scent. Drones picked up nothing. Search crews found no footprints, no fabric, no signs of movement. The only item found, a small, pink blanket, discovered days later, deep in the woods, only deepened the mystery. It had no blood, no saliva, no signs of a struggle. Just pine needles, pollen, and a story that doesn't make sense. Some believe the children wandered and died in the wilderness. Others are convinced someone took them. But what haunts most people who follow this story isn't just a lack of answers. It's the feeling that something important has been left unsaid. Everything about that morning feels wrong. The short window of time, the open door, the eerie silence, and above all, the sense that maybe, just maybe, someone was already watching, waiting for the moment no one was looking. From day one, the RCMP approached the disappearance of Lilly and Jack Sullivan not as a routine search and rescue, but as a potential criminal investigation. The language they used in early press conferences was careful, deliberate, but behind the scenes, they were treating the case with high-level urgency. Major crime units were called in just days after the children vanished. Specialists combed the trailer and surrounding woods. Digital forensics teams began collecting electronic data, and every person connected to the children was placed under a microscope. And at the center of that scrutiny was one name, Malia Brooks Murray, their mother. Malia was interviewed multiple times. RCMP seized her devices. They dissected her timeline down to the minute, looking for any inconsistencies. What time she fed the chickens, how long she was outside, when she last saw the children. Every message she sent that morning was reviewed, every call logged, every movement tracked. On paper, she was cooperative. But off paper, something didn't sit right with those following the case, especially when Maliha's behavior began to change. Local sources say that within just a few weeks of the disappearance, Maliha quietly packed up and left Nova Scotia. There was no public statement, no emotional farewell, no candlelight vigil. One moment she was making desperate pleas on camera for the return of her children, and the next she was gone. She didn't attend further search briefings. She didn't respond to community outreach. She blocked Daniel Martel, the children's stepfather, on social media, and according to friends, cut off communication with nearly everyone connected to the case. There was no known funeral, no public effort to maintain awareness, and no follow-up interviews. To the outside world, it seemed she had vanished too, just not in the same way as Lilly and Jack. The move raised eyebrows, and not just among online sleuths. It triggered concern among investigators and added fuel to a fire of growing public suspicion. Was she overwhelmed by grief? Or was she escaping something? Could this have been guilt, trauma, or fear? Or was there something in that trailer? Something that no one wanted to talk about? The silence around Maliha's departure spoke, louder than any press release. In true crime circles, it's often said that behavior after a crime could be more telling than anything said during an interview. And in this case, the mother's silence.
We thought maybe that we found tracks, but it's still uncertain. It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet, but with the sun today, I'm hopeful that they are feeling warm. We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. We want them home. Everyone loves them. They are definitely verbal, and they do have possible autism, but it's not extreme autism. It's just they have issues with school, and they don't catch up with the other kids. I just want to remain hopeful. But there's always, in a mother's mind, you're always thinking the worst. Last night was one of the worst nights because I didn't have them in their beds. And I don't want to go through that another night without them.
Silence, distance, and disappearance of her own made her more than just a grieving parent. It made her a mystery. To this day, the RCMP have never named her a suspect, but they've never publicly cleared her either. Theories surrounding her decision to leave have spiraled out of control online. Some deeply unfair, others disturbingly plausible. But regardless of where the truth lies, one fact remains. 2 children vanished without a sound, and the one person who was closest to them in their final known moments walked away from the place they disappeared and never returned. And that, to many watching closely, isn't just odd, it's haunting. Investigators never formally accused Maliha of wrongdoing. Her cooperation in the early stages of the investigation was, according to the RCMP, complete. She allowed interviews, handed over her devices, and gave them access to the home. But despite the absence of any official charges, public opinion didn't wait for evidence. It formed quickly on social media, in quiet conversations across Nova Scotia, and especially in the online forums that have followed every twist in this case. And one question kept surfacing above the rest. Why did she leave town so quickly? Just weeks after Lilly and Jack disappeared, Maliha quietly left the province. There was no press release, no public goodbye, no clear explanation. One day she was there, attending briefings, fielding questions. The next, she was gone. To some, that was a red flag. A grieving mother, they argued, would stay close to the search, close to home, unwilling to move until there was an answer. But grief doesn't follow logic. For others, especially psychologists familiar with trauma, her actions could easily be interpreted as a flight response. A mother overwhelmed, paralyzed by guilt or fear, desperate to escape a place now drenched in memories and what-ifs. And yet, suspicions grew. Her rare public appearances didn't help. Malia only gave a few interviews, brief and carefully worded. She often avoided eye contact, her posture rigid, her tone at times more reserved and emotional. Clips of these interviews were shared and dissected endlessly. Some users claimed she looked too composed, her tears too brief, her pleas too practiced. One Reddit thread compared her to other parents of missing children, analyzing microexpressions, lip movements, even the words she used. "I just want them found," she'd said. But critics wondered, why not, "I know they're out there," or "I won't stop searching"? Was it simply how she processed grief, or did her language betray something deeper? Inconsistencies also began to emerge, tiny details in her timeline that didn't seem to align. In one account, she mentioned hearing a thud right before noticing the back door was open. In another, she said everything was silent. When pressed, she attributed the confusion to stress. Understandable? Maybe, but to those who already had doubts, it only deepened them. If she wasn't involved, why couldn't she keep the story straight? And if she was, how could she be holding it together so calmly? But here's the difficult truth. Trauma distorts memory. Victims of sudden loss often experience confusion, time distortion, emotional numbness. What might appear as inconsistency could easily be the fractured recall of a woman in shock. Still, in a digital age, those subtleties often get flattened into black and white narratives. You're either suspicious or sympathetic, rarely both. As weeks turned into months, Malia's absence from public view became part of the story. She deleted her Facebook account,